I find your t-shirt more than a little offensive. If there's one thing I cannot stand, it's post-ironic hipsters.
If you don't like it, you can go back to Canada, dude!
Hey there, folks. Wanted to do a small little update video / anniversary celebration / essay about my summer vacation now that my channel is officially 3 years old. I don't really have a script for this, more of an outline. It's just me talking off the top of my head to discuss everything that's happened over the last year, what I'm up to, and my future plans for the channel. The B-roll of video game footage you see is made up of stuff I've already covered, things I'm currently playing, and some stuff I might possibly review in the future. I know I do it at the end of every video, and pretty much every other community post, but I gotta start things off by thanking my subscribers again. This time last year, I was sitting somewhere around 800 subscribers, and now I'm sitting at over 40,000, which, yeah, is an absolutely insane jump in people watching my content. I could create the greatest YouTube videos known to man, but none of that means anything if there isn't anyone actually watching and supporting me. So as always, thanks a lot, guys. You've turned a small hobby I was sure I'd abandon sooner or later into a real passion for me. A way to make some money outside my actual job and possibly my full-time job in the future. My first 2 years on YouTube were pretty quiet, and really this was just a way for me to kill time and talk about the games I really enjoyed. It wasn't until I posted my GTA 3 video that I received the blessing from the almighty algorithm, and my channel started getting some real traction. And I've really enjoyed all the comments I received on my videos and community posts. It's cool to hear everyone's perspective when it comes to whatever game I'm covering, their childhood experiences with it if they played it when they were young like me, and just learning about you guys in general. I've been a bit lax as of late when it comes to responding to comments. An unfortunate side effect of having a bigger audience is that posts tend to get lost in all the notifications I get now, but I'll try to be a bit more thorough and read through them on new videos and posts when I can. Sorry if my voice sounds a little off. Legit, the second my GTA 5 video was done rendering and I started uploading it, I got sick. Normally I wouldn't bring it up, people get sick all the time, but the exact same thing happened after I did the Mafia video too. So yeah, burning yourself out isn't always about your mental health, but your physical health too. That said, I am doing much better, and I'm relaxing most of this week to get back to 100%. It's funny, I was so worried about this exact thing happening that I started working on the GTA 5 video in July, and took a vacation specifically to avoid any burnout. But it ended up being such a big project that I feel like I need another vacation now. While I doubt I'll be making a video anywhere near that big for a long time, I am re-examining my approach to balancing my workload and health. I think I just need to set some alarms to remind myself to get up to stretch, drink water, or just take a break. Outside my cold, things for me are going pretty well. Summer has been quiet at work, and I've mainly focused on using my free time by going out and touching some grass more, with my little trip to Portland being a much needed refresher on vacation. City was cool, had a lot of cool places to visit. I went to their Japanese garden, which was very relaxing and zen. Also, it was extremely hot that day. The local bars and breweries had some great stuff to drink and eat. And I even did a 5-mile hiking trail in the world's most uncomfortable shoes. Note to self, running shoes aren't designed for walking on dirt trails with jagged ass rocks everywhere. My trip kinda taught me just how much time I tend to waste every day. So I've been making an effort to wake up earlier and manage my time better. The GTA 5 video is probably the best example of my efforts, as I managed to optimize how much time I spent recording the game in a given day. Hopefully it sticks and I don't fall back into my old habits. Outside of my mini vacation, I've been hitting the beach more, and I went to a few small conventions in my local area. There was a Pokemon trading card expo I went to in early June. Very small and a bit crowded because of where they were set up, but fun. Bought some cards from some dealers, and I even got an autograph from Professor Oak's voice actor, which was pretty cool. Then, like 2 weeks ago, I went to the Long Island Retro Gaming Convention that they hold at the Cradle of Aviation Museum. Again, pretty fun. They had a lot of arcade machines and consoles set up everywhere to play, plenty of local gaming businesses to buy from, and again, a chill environment. I even went dressed as Tommy Vercetti, with a few people instantly recognizing who I was cosplaying as and taking some photos, so that was pretty cool. And then like a week ago, I went to the Pokemon Go Fest in Randall Park with some friends. I haven't really played the game all that much since its popularity died down, but it was a cool event. Reminded me of when the game first launched and it felt like the entire world was walking around and playing the game. I'd say my only gripes is how they set up their merch stand, as it was just one big tent with a giant line of people waiting to get in. Feels like they should have had multiple spots set up for merch, especially since they had the space for it. Otherwise, it was a good time. I've been walking around and running in the parks near my house, so maybe I'll play Pokemon Go a little more often. So my gaming backlog has gotten even bigger as of late, thanks to working on so many videos for the channel. However, I did manage to get through some games, and I'm currently cleaning up some others I want to finish before Starfield releases. First was Tears of the Kingdom. Thought it was pretty good. The Ultra Hand mechanic added a level of creativity and outside of the box thinking I don't think I've ever encountered in a video game. The Sky Islands, and especially the Underground, really helped make the world feel fresh and alleviated some of my worries about it having the same map as Breath of the Wild. That said, I'm really craving a traditional Zelda game again. I know this open sandbox style is what the series is going to do moving forward, but I would love it if they did something a little more linear, or with a bigger focus on standard temples and puzzles. I'm thinking about replaying an older Zelda game soon. Might even play one for the channel, though I'm not quite sure which one. It's hard for me to narrow down my favorite Zelda game if I'm being honest. I've basically played all of them at least once by now, minus the CDI ones. Each game has its strengths and charms that I couldn't really just pick one at random. But who knows, maybe I'll figure something out. Or ask you guys for advice. The other big title I completed recently was Final Fantasy XVI. I'll be honest, I feel like I got a lot to say about it, but I'm not trying to bog down this little update video with a review of it. Overall, I'd say I enjoyed my time with it. I liked Clive as a main character, the side characters were interesting, the combat was great, especially the icon battles, and the music was solid. I still got the main battle theme stuck in my head. It's a game I would describe as good, but never really gets great. I feel like after a certain point, the combat doesn't really push you to experiment or to try out different builds, outside of just shaking things up if you're bored. Magic is basically worthless. Elements are essentially different colors and make no difference on the enemy you're fighting. While I enjoyed the story, you end up entering a repetitive loop that will take you to a new area, do some basic favors for an NPC, go into a crazy icon battle, and then return to the hub to do it all over again. It wouldn't be so bad if there was more to do, but even the most positive of reviews admit that the side quests are dog shit too. The game feels like a good first step in a new direction for Final Fantasy, but isn't as ambitious as you would expect a main series title to be. I think after the reaction to 15, which I still kinda love, they probably wanted to play it safer, but it comes off as too safe. Like I said, I really enjoyed my time with it, but I can't help but feel it could have been so much more. Who knows, maybe they'll do more if they decide to do DLC, or release an updated version like they did with 15. I'm not sure how I'd rank it in comparison to the other games in the series yet, as it's been a while since I've played the older titles, and still haven't played Final Fantasy 8 or 9. For the record, Final Fantasy X is my favorite in the entire series, and I'd say Final Fantasy VII Remake was a better game overall compared to 16. I don't know, maybe I'll discuss it a few years from now. I am itching to do a video on a Final Fantasy game soon, either on 10, Tactics Advance, or weirdly enough, Final Fantasy 13. I'm not a 13 apologist, but it would be fascinating to go through it beat by beat, to see the things it does well instead of fixating on everything it did badly. Kinda like the GTA 5 video, though probably just as long, so no hurry to do that just yet. Outside those big releases, I'm kinda juggling multiple games at the moment. Started playing Baldur's Gate 3. I know nothing about this franchise other than its heavy Dungeons & Dragons roots, but it's been fun so far. It helps that I've played D&D sessions in the past with my buddy and his family. It wasn't in person, just online, but I more or less understood the gist of character creation, abilities, and using dice rolls to make decisions. It feels like a game that's just this massive beast that I'm not going to be able to purely focus on for a while, or most likely just going to play offhandedly for a couple months. Like I said, I am trying to manage my free time better, so maybe I'll dedicate a day or a few hours each day to playing it. Also started Armored Core 6, yet another game which I have no experience with its franchise. It's a completely different game to FromSoft's other series like Dark Souls or Elden Ring, which honestly makes it way more approachable. It's nowhere near as punishing as those games, and really is about just having the right build and getting a good handle on your mech's maneuverability. I'm still very early in the game, only just got to chapter 2, but it hasn't felt like this crushing difficulty yet. I think this game is meant to be pretty short too, so I'm hoping to have it mostly finished before Starfield drops. And the most recent game I just got into was Sea of Stars. I've been watching this one for a while, and I'm happy to report the game is everything I wanted it to be. It's been so long since I've had a traditional turn-based RPG to play, and this game is checking off all the right boxes, with gorgeous pixel art, solid music, and a great gameplay system that mixes Chrono Trigger's turn-based system with Paper Mario's action commands. It's another one I'm fairly early into, probably only like 5 hours deep at the time of this recording, but with all the excellent reviews it's getting, I don't expect it to leave me disappointed. It also really makes me want to cover a JRPG for the channel soon. Outside of the usual gaming stuff, I've been watching a few new movies and shows. Saw the new Ninja Turtles movie. Thought it was excellent. Really dug this new take on the Turtles. Ice Cube was amazing as the villain Superfly, and the movie had this right balance of humor that both old and new fans can enjoy. Though it did feel a little short. Watched both the Venture Brothers and Metalocalypse movies, and both were fucking excellent. I actually finally caught up to and finished the last season of Venture Brothers while I was staying in Portland in anticipation of this movie. The series as a whole is criminally underrated, with some incredible writing and dry humor that I absolutely love. The movie feels like a condensed season 8, and can feel a little rushed with some of its plot points, but I think it answers enough questions to leave longtime fans satisfied, and keeps the door open for potential new seasons or another movie. It's a show I would love to spend hours talking about in a video, but I'm not quite sure I got what it takes to fully review the series and talk about its themes and characters. At least not yet. Also, it's way out of my current demographic of subscribers. Maybe. I never really brought it up before, but outside of a quick gag, most of the time I reference a movie, show, or anime is just to see how many of you guys have watched it too. If you've never watched the show, do yourself a favor and check it out. The first season, while still good, feels very different from the rest of the show, so I recommend watching the first 2 seasons before deciding if it's for you or not. Same goes for Metalocalypse, equally as good and underrated. I just love those idiots and their music is godly. I have all their albums on my phone, including the newest one that dropped with the movie. Army of the Doomstar feels like more of a finale compared to the Venture Bros movie, but mainly because the series was building up to this climactic moment. It's missing a lot of the humor from the series, but that's mainly because of the stakes that are at play. It's a fitting finale for the show, though what I wouldn't give for another season that's episodic, and just goes over the antics of these idiot metalheads doing mundane things. Sorry if I'm being vague about the stories of both movies, but since they're both fairly new, I don't want to spoil anything for fans who haven't seen them yet. I haven't been watching any regular TV like at all, but the newest season of It's Always Sunny was solid, and I've been loving the newest season of What We Do in the Shadows too. Outside of that, I've been catching up on some new seasons of anime. New season of Baki is pretty dope. Same goes for the newest season of Jujutsu Kaisen. So glad that Bleach is back. The 1000-Year Blood War hasn't disappointed in the least. I get that some fights can feel too fast, but if you read the manga, you know its pacing is god-awful. 5 to 8 chapters of Bleach is equivalent to 1 chapter of One Piece. So I'll take a few faster fights to get to the better stuff, instead of getting bogged down by filler. And the new Rurouni Kenshin anime has been good so far. It'll probably never top the original, but as long as we finally get an Anishi arc, I'll be satisfied. Alrighty, enough rambling about what I've been doing with my summer vacation. Let's talk about the future of the channel. I never really expected Grand Theft Auto or the other Rockstar games to be what got my channel some notice, especially with all the GTA Online dedicated channels out there. But here we are. Don't get me wrong, I love this series for sure, but I've done my best to avoid pigeonholing myself into being a strictly GTA channel, which is why I spread out covering each game in the series. Talked about series that were GTA-like, but also made sure to just talk about games I found interesting in general. For the most part, I'll continue doing the same thing, though the views on Bully, Manhunt, and especially the Warriors shows you guys enjoy listening to me discussing other Rockstar series too. So I'll be tackling the Red Dead series and LA Noire in the future. One probably sooner than you would expect. And I'll still do GTA content as well. Like I've mentioned before, I kinda wanna do a ranking video of all the games. Though I'm still debating if I wanna stick to the 3D games or spend the time playing through the older 2D ones. Like I said, I think the 2D games are fine, I just don't know if they give me enough to talk about in a video. But I thought the same thing about Chinatown Wars, and look how that turned out. And if GTA 6 does end up releasing next year, I'll be there to dissect any trailers that drop and review the game when it releases. In terms of GTA-like games, I'm planning to cover Watch Dogs and Sleeping Dogs soon. Since a few creators I follow already did videos on Sleeping Dogs recently, I may actually do Watch Dogs first and save the former for later in the year. I really want to do God of War 2, as I got a lot of positive feedback on the first God of War video. Might have to restructure my approach to it, as recounting my latest playthrough doesn't really play as well with this series as it does others. Outside of that, there's literally dozens upon dozens of games and series I want to cover. There's Metal Gear Solid, Hitman, Ashura's Wrath, Dead Rising, The Suffering, The Darkness, the Borderlands series, and so much more. Oh, and I almost forgot. Definitely want to cover Yakuza in the future too. I'm very close to finally finishing Yakuza 5, which only leaves me with Yakuza 6 and Yakuza 7 before I'm completely caught up with the series. Hoping I can manage to finish both of those before Yakuza Gaiden comes out. One series I really want to discuss but I'm extremely on the fence about is Max Payne. And really, it's because the series has been done to death at this point. So I really don't know what I could bring to the table in a video. Then again, I felt like I had the same exact problem with Manhunt, and that video performed really well. A lot of you have mentioned how you enjoy my more straightforward review style, which isn't really something I see when it comes to videos covering Max Payne. So, I don't know, maybe I will give it a shot. Fallout is another series I want to do and realize has also been done to death. I'm a much more casual fan to the series than others too, as I didn't get into the series until Fallout 4, but I think I could bring some fun and my own takes to a video on one of the games. That, or turn it into one big shitpost where I just make all the worst possible decisions. Outside of stuff I've just listed, I want to check out more PS2 titles like Jak and Daxter or Ratchet and Clank, do more videos on Pokemon, and go back to do more on the Mega Man series. I've been doing a new playthrough of Pokemon Silver on my Steam Deck, and man, there is just so much about Generation 2 I want to talk about. With Mega Man, I actually have a video for one of its games half scripted, so I may just release that soon. Won't say which game it is, but it's probably my favorite of the entire franchise. So yeah, I have more ideas for future videos than I know what to do with, so I'm not running out of content anytime soon. I'm also planning to do more compilation videos like I did with the GTA 4 Supercut. I think the first one I'll do is the PS2 GTA trilogy, and since I don't like lazily slapping videos together, I will go back to fix issues and mistakes in the videos, specifically re-recording the audio for GTA 3 and Vice City, since I was still using my old mic when I did those videos. That won't be for a while though, and it'll be an extra video in that month as opposed to a replacement for a different video too. So, Patreon. I might make a Patreon. Probably. I think you've all heard it by now from numerous YouTube creators, but AdSense isn't a reliable way to make money on the platform. And while I've done well this year, like extremely well, I understand that all of that can disappear or that I will have the occasional bad month or two in terms of views and ad revenue. I've danced around the idea of launching a Patreon for most of the year, as I wasn't sure what the right subscriber count I would need for it. I've seen channels with half my current subs launch a Patreon, and channels 3 times my size without one, so I have no idea what time is the right time. The other issue was that I wanted to make it worthwhile without strong-arming you guys or gatekeeping content either. I think I'm going to go with the usual standard of putting people's names in the credits for a certain tier, and shouting out the name of others for a higher tier, run polls to vote on the next video, and maybe release a video on there like a couple days early. Also, I think I might use it as a daily blog, a good way to just talk about whatever and communicate with you guys, without clogging up the community tab or forcing you to subscribe to me on Twitter or something. Though you can follow my Instagram to see all the dumb shit I spend my YouTube money on. I don't know, I'm still mulling things over on that. If I do launch a Patreon, it won't be till October at the earliest, and I'm open to hearing suggestions from everyone regarding what to offer or do with it. And of course, don't feel obligated to sign up for it either. I understand money can be tight, so just watching videos and commenting them is more than enough support. Going full-time on YouTube would be a dream. but it's one I'm being extremely careful about at the moment. I don't think I'll seriously make the transition until the beginning of next year, and after I've saved a decent amount of money. So anything I can do to make that decision a more sound and secure one, the better I'll feel. I know some might suggest selling merch, but I have zero idea how I'm supposed to go about doing that, and I want to offer something of real quality, not just slapping my name or logo onto a basic shirt or hat. So maybe I'll give merch some serious consideration when I can work with a reliable merch company and an artist to design some original art for that merch. Side note, I am looking to work with more artists, specifically anyone who could do pixel art, pixel animation, animations in general, and anyone who has a passing knowledge of Blockbench. I have some ideas I want to do for like intros and outros, along with some ideas for my avatar. So if you're an artist, feel free to DM me on Instagram or send me an email. I'll link both of them down below. And, well, I guess that's it. Thanks for watching, folks, and thanks for 3 years on YouTube. I'm gonna try and do more update videos, maybe like one every 3 months or once a season, filling you guys in on any changes to the channel and just communicating in general. Probably should have brought it up earlier in the video, but I might give live streaming a try later in the year. It'll be here on YouTube, so you're not forced to subscribe to Twitch. I think more or less it'll be like a chill stream kind of thing, where I'm just chatting with you guys while I'm recording footage for the channel, but I'll see if I can find some time later in the year to start some streaming. I've already started working on the next video, which I may or may not have teased somewhere in this video. It's going to be different from what I usually do, and probably a shorter video too, but I think you guys will enjoy it. It's a game that feels like a fitting finale for the summer as we get ready to enter the fall. Upload schedule should remain the same, averaging 2 videos each month, though I might try to squeeze a third, smaller video every now and then. Comment down below with future suggestions for games, ideas for Patreon, or whatever. I'm FuzzySlippers, and I'll see you later. Peace.